r/AskReddit. What is a loophole that you found and exploited the hell out of? I worked at a restaurant in a hotel where you could collect employee bucks of sorts for going above and beyond at your job. You could use them to pay for things like a room stay or food in the hotel restaurant. They were worth $1 each, but you obviously couldn't cash them in for real money. I saved up about $450 worth, used $100 worth to pay for a hotel room on a day I was working, bought a soda from myself at the restaurant, and tipped myself the extra $350 and signed it all to my room bill. Upon checkout it just shows that I spent $350 at the restaurant, not a breakdown of the bill. So then I used my employee bucks to pay off the hotel bill and got an extra $350 on my paycheck, minus taxes of course. We had a situation at my old job, a huge international company, where we'd work shifts, either the 8th of October 12 hours. Anything after 8 hours was overtime. Sometimes we were scheduled for the next shift quite soon after the last one had ended. For example 5 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and then 1900 hours to 000 hours. Someone discovered that if there were less than 8 hours between shifts in a 24-hour period, anything after 8 hours total was paid the overtime rate. We did it for ages, and then in the context of some team chat, some twat asked one of the managers whether the above scheduling would still be feasible. Turned out the management hadn't even noticed and stopped it immediately. And back to minimum wage we went. MoviePass was $10 a month and you could use it to get one movie ticket a day. I lived next door to a Regal, and I went every day because Regal would give their reward points for every ticket purchased. They didn't care that MoviePass was paying for the tickets then giving them to me as part of my subscription. In 8 months I spent $80 on the subscription and saw everything that came out, and I racked up enough Regal rewards points for about 50 free popcorns or drinks. MoviePass went out of business, but I still had all the Regal rewards. When I was at university, the pay-for campus printers all worked on a system where you'd print your documents, release them at the printer, they'd print, then after they'd finished printing, it would then contact the server to get the cost deducted from your balance. That final step always took a while and I discovered in my first year that if I cancelled the print job as the final page was rolling out of the printer, it wouldn't deduct the cost from my balance. With this method I got free printing for nearly 2 years before they upgraded the system. We had a slightly different printer hack. My university charged our printing money out of our accounts in one big lump at the beginning of each semester. If you didn't use it by the end of the semester, you lost it, no rollover. The printers were all pretty awful, and you could only print from computer lab computers which always seemed to be full. My roommate got so sick of it all, she brought an old printer from her parents' house to use in our room. At the end of each semester, we printed blank pages off the student printers until we used all of our printing funds that we would lost anyway. Black and white printing was less than color per page, so we always had the settings set to monochrome, getting us even more pages for our money. We ended up with an abundance of nice paper for our own printer, keeping the costs of our private printer way down. Totally worth it. Was on a cruise ship a few years ago that had a pay-per-minute internet policy. You'd buy like 200 minutes of Wi-Fi access for $100 or whatever crazy price it was. They had a little portal that you went to start and stop the timer and tell you how much time was remaining. I quickly realized that the timer counted by whole minutes. That is, if I started at 12 hours, 0 minutes and 1 second, and stopped it at 12 hours, 0 minutes and 58 seconds, then it counted as 0 minutes of internet use. For the entire cruise I took advantage of this. Start the timer, fire up your internet apps like Facebook and Instagram and let your timeline and emails download, or launch a website and let it load. Stop the timer, browse your feed and photos and read your website and emails offline. Compose posts and replies etc. Start the timer again to send/upload. Stop it again within a minute. I milked those 200 minutes for an entire 3-week cruise and still had 45 minutes left over at the end. One time I was at McDonald's with a friend, and I got him a crap for €2, and I decided to try out filling out the survey at the bottom of the receipt for a free drink. I got my drink, and to my surprise on the receipt I got for the drink there was another code for a survey, so I tried it again and it worked. We did it about 5 times, until we decided to leave. The next day I decided to try it again, and for some reason it didn't work. A month ago I was at McDonald's, but unfortunately didn't work again. Before the pandemic hit, I used to sometimes go to Taco Bell between classes for a snack. One day I got a receipt with a code to fill up an online survey for a free taco on your next purchase, which is what I was buying anyways, since it was just a small snack. I decided I'd fill it up and buy a soda, which was cheaper, next time just for the free taco, thinking it wouldn't give me a new code, but it did. Anyways, I started doing it so often that the employees started recognizing me, and one even told me normally I tell customers to remember to fill out the survey, but I'm sure you'll remember. Not me, but a friend of mine, among others I'd assume, managed to get an entire sales campaign cancelled that a bank in my country did. The bank tried to promote one of their debit cards, which are basically prepaid credit cards, via some bonuses and gifts you get as customer. For instance, one of 20 products you can choose for free if you start using it, etc. One of these bonuses they offered was a small payback you'd get after each purchase. What they did was basically rounding up the amount you paid to full euros and give you the difference. So if you bought something for 27 euros and 63 cents, you'd get 37 cents gifted from this bank. What he then did was only possible because we were university students back then, had very flexible work time, and some of our friends were temping in supermarkets. He went to the supermarket our friends worked at times when basically no one else was there, and purchased hundreds of single potatoes. Each one equals one purchase with the card. Depending on their weight, each of these potatoes was like 2 quart or 3 quart. So for each purchase he got 98 quart or 97 quart gifted from the bank, making him profit about 96 quart for each potato. He got about 250 euros, plus an unreasonable amount of free potatoes, in 2 days with this, until the bank called him could you maybe stop that? And he just shamelessly responded why? To which the bank person on the phone had no good answer. So then he just went on and made some more money until the whole incentive thing got completely cancelled a few days later. Fun times. Edit. Grammar/wording. Right out of college I worked a job that had a 100% match to any retirement contributions. I was young, lived rent-free with my parents, had no student debt, and could grab out nearly every week. After some budgeting I figured I could throw 80% of my paycheck into retirement. I did so for 9 months, until my supervisor called me into the office to sign a policy change that limited retirement contributions to 50%. I'd stashed away nearly $35,000 on about $32,000 annual pay. I had no life for about a year, but damn if it didn't jumpstart my retirement. Early in the smartphone world there was an app that gave you points for watching TV shows and ads that you could turn in for gift cards or discount codes. The rewards were not great, but over time, and by waiting for gift card restock, you could make out like a bandit. However, the shows they wanted you to watch were not my cup of tea. A lot of primetime shows and reality shows, and I wasn't home for a lot of them, so I thought I was sole. Turns out, the app had a grace period where, if you had recorded the show on your TV you could still get credit, so I just pirated the shows and set my phone up to watch them while I did something else. Then I realized it only listened for about 2 minutes before it gave you credit, so I was able to get through the log of shows in about 40 minutes and make a killing. Because of that app I was able to get a KitchenAid stand mixer, a smoker, and a bunch of other stuff because of the gift cards. Not really a loophole, I guess, just a way I ripped Pizza Hut off for a couple $1,000s in food and drinks. Back many years ago when places were just starting to set up their websites for online ordering, I found a way to refresh the page the right way, where I could enter a coupon code to take 10% off as many times as I wanted to. We did a practice order to make sure it worked. We did like a $30 order and brought it down to like $7 and paid with a $20 and let the driver keep the change. Since it worked we started doing bigger and bigger orders. We would only get like 2 pizzas, but we got lots of wings, desserts, cheese, bread and drinks and other random side items. Our orders were coming out around $90 and we ordered every single day and many days twice. A couple of times the delivery guy said your total is... Wait, that can't be right. $8? We told him our uncle worked for corporate and gave us really awesome coupons and always tipped the driver really well. This went on for about 2 weeks of ordering at least $100 from Pizza Hut every single day. Some days we would order twice. All good things must come to an end though, and one day it just stopped working. Some nights I lay awake tossing and turning thinking of how awful a thing I did to Pizza Hut. JK, I regret nothing. It was awesome, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was part of a great summer. We were tired of pizza after like 1 week, but we kept on ordering just because we knew it wouldn't last forever. There's software that generates credit card numbers. Now you can't actually buy anything with these numbers because when the system tries to charge them, it gets rejected. However, there was a website, like many others, that would give free Amazon gift cards via email for trying out partnered subscription services that offered free trials. You'd click the offer link, get redirected to the partner site, fill out all the information and use the fake number, and it would confirm on the offer site before getting rejected by the partner site. About a week later, you'd get a digital Amazon gift card in your inbox. Got enough to buy a PS2? Long time ago, haha. I was visiting a hospital on a daily basis for many weeks, premature twin babies, but they didn't do multi-use discounts. There's the hours you were here, pay up type of thing, and it was costing something like £5 to £10 per day. Until a few days and I realized that the hospital had only just appointed the car parking company and they haven't yet installed the arrival time machine at the car park entrance, but had only put a temporary machine in the hospital lobby, which you were meant to use on your arrival. And from that day on I got my arrival time ticket when I was leaving and only paid minimum stay. Several years ago AT&T was running a trade-in promotion increasing the value of old iPhones way beyond what they were selling for on eBay CL at the time. This promo thankfully wasn't bundled to a new phone purchase and could be done on any active line of service with AT&T, so no limits on phone trade-ins. I ended up buying 31 old iPhone 4s for about $70 each on eBay and trading them all into AT&T on promotion for $200. Worked out to $6,200 in AT&T credits. Got myself 2 iPads, 2 new iPhones at the time, and enough of a credit on my bill I didn't pay for cell phone service for almost 2 years. I really miss this type of promotion.